Hare Krishna. Thought is perfected in thinking of that which is beyond the grasp of thought. One of the curious aspects of spirituality is that spirituality encourages us to think about the spiritual, and at the same time we are also told that the spiritual is beyond the grasp of thought. For example, in the Bhagavad-gita, Krishna tells that the object of knowledge, Gyeya, should be the spiritual. We should strive to know about the spiritual. And he says, for example, in 13.13, Gyeyam yat tat pravakshami yad gyatvam So he says, Gyeyam, if we can know the spiritual, then amrutam we can attain eternal life. But at the same time, just 4 verses later, in 13.16, Krishna says, Bahirantascha bhutanam acharam charamevacha sukshamatvat tadavigyeyam durastham chantike chatat. So while describing that absolute spiritual truth, he says, Bahirantascha bhutanam is outside and of inside. Acharam charamevacha, in moving and non-moving beings both. Sukshamatvat tadavigyeyam. It's sukshamatvat, extremely minute, and therefore avigyeyam, that which is unknowable. Durastham chantike chatad, that absolute truth is far away and it's very close to us also. So now firstly, there are these contradictory descriptions that this is outside and inside, is far away and very close. Now we wonder, how is this possible? We can say, okay, the Andromeda galaxy is very far away. But how can somebody say it's very close? That which is far cannot be close. That which is outside, that cannot be inside. Somebody is outside the house or they are inside the house. So what is Krishna trying to tell us this? The point, another fundamental contradiction is Krishna says, this is Gyeya, this is the object which you try to know. But then he says, Avigyeya, this cannot be known. It's unknowable. So what is the point of trying to know that which is unknowable? Actually, the point is that it expands our capacity for thought. Just like if a person goes to a gymnasium and then if they have a capacity to lift 10 kg weight and they just lift weights within their capacity, if they lift 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 kg weight, they are not really going to strengthen their muscles by that. If they want to strengthen their muscles, they need to lift up weight that is slightly beyond their capacity. If they can lift 10 kg weight, then they need to lift 11, 12 kg. And by lifting weight beyond their capacity expands. Similarly, when we think of that which is beyond the grasp of thought, now there is a difference between the reach of thought and the grasp of thought. We surely can think about the spiritual. Reach means we can touch it. Grasp means we can catch it and conquer it. So we can't conquer the supreme spiritual reality God by our thought. But we can reach Him. That means we can think about it. By thinking about Him, we can become purified. Our consciousness can become elevated. We can become internally satisfied. And this purification, elevation, satisfaction is not got, cannot be got by thinking about any other object of thought. And that is why it is vital that we think about Krishna. And although Krishna is beyond the grasp of our thought, the more we try to think about Him, the more we become purified, elevated and satisfied. And ultimately, we become perfected by thinking about Krishna. Our thought and our life is perfected when we think about Krishna. Because by thinking about Krishna, by remembering Krishna, we develop a mood of selfless service. We contribute constructively in this world, and at the end of our life, we attain Krishna's eternal abode. For whatever we are attracted to at the time of death, that is what we will attain in our next life. That's what the Bhagavad-gita tells. And in this way, our thought and our life are perfected by striving to think of that Supreme Being who is ultimately beyond the grasp of thought. Yet, He is within the reach of our heart. And He will become the closest object to our heart when we strive to think about Him with as devotional as an intention as possible, and He will become the closest reality, the greatest reality, the most joyful reality for us if we strive to think about Him devotionally. Thank you. Hare Krishna.